Hello, Jose. As we start, can you just tell us a little bit about how you use 3D printing in your product development?
Sure. So we do product development for connected wireless medical devices, and we're big believers in getting user testing as early as possible. So we try to think about what are the usability challenges that are going to exist, or what are some other mechanical risks that exist around the product. And everything from renderings up front to 3D models and prototypes as early as possible is really key for us to understand how the user is going to interact with the product, what kind of perceptions they have of it early on, and it helps to limit the number of mistakes that you face later down in the process. Or worst case scenario, launch a product that it turns out that users don't feel comfortable using or have a problem with it. So 3D printing really helps us with that.
Does it also help you inform your manufacturing process or the settings or the setup that you might use with your product?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as anybody who's taken products to volume production knows, the tooling can be a very expensive and time-consuming part of the process. So you want to avoid any mistakes around that. And part of the tools that you have to do that, 3D printing is a key component of that, because early in the process, you can make sure that all of the different components fit together well, that you're not going to have some weird fit problem between the board and the mechanical housings, or between two components in the mechanical housings. So it's a really important part for us of ensuring that once we go to tooling, that we're not going to have a lot of mistakes, and we can get through the tooling phase quickly.
For sure. And one of the big parts of medical, I assume, is the regulatory part. Is there any benefits of using the 3D printing process for prototyping in the regulatory process that you end up doing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. From a regulatory point of view, the FDA wants to make sure that you're following good design controls and that you're taking risk into account. And so as part of your risk mitigation strategy, you can take early testing and user feedback, usability studies, those sorts of things into play. And 3D printing helps to make that possible. The other place where we've seen 3D printing have a real powerful impact is in using early molded parts that are not injection molded with the more expensive molds, but you can use 3D printers now to create the patterns that are used for either cast urethanes, or even with silicones, you can create simpler molds that are much more cost effective and faster. And then you get parts that are very similar to production parts, and you can do everything from user testing to clinical trials to just fit testing and everything like that in a more accurate way than you could in the past.
Right. And you guys have a lot of experience in that. So for folks that are listening to this, what would you say your sweet spot is? What's your wheelhouse in this product development medical space?
Well, we specialize in wireless connected medical devices. And for that includes both hardware and software. So both, mechanical housings, the electronics, the software inside those electronics, embedded software, firmware. And then on the other side, iOS, Android, web applications, cloud connectivity, cybersecurity, all of that comes together. And, as a 3D printing expert, you know how important that is on the mechanical housing side of things, but we can help them with the whole product development.
Great. Well, thank you very much.